Well, welcome everybody to AWC's long-term pandemic strategy. For short, we'll be calling it ALPS, but we probably won't ever call it this again. It's just a fancy name that I came up with. This plan helps us really try to get an idea of what we as a church are going to be able to do and what ministry is going to look like for the foreseeable future until this pandemic is over and the restrictions are lifted. And so we're planning to launch stage one at the beginning of July and stage two the beginning of September. So I've got the presentation here, so we'll just kind of track along with it, move through the slides. That way you can read it and you can take screenshots or you can look at it, read through it at your own pace or whatever it is that you want to do. Or you can listen along and I'll be adding in a little bit of information here and there. Okay, so let's get to it. So as we have been tackling everything that goes along with this pandemic and trying to figure out how do we do church when we're not allowed to do so many of the things that we normally do, we've been trying to move things online and make things accessible as much as possible, and try to create a consistent atmosphere and consistent form of ministry for you and for us as we're preparing the content, and for you as you're getting the content and wrestling with the content, so that things aren't changing constantly and it ends up being really confusing. And so we've been trying to navigate this and trying to watch things and trying to figure out what is the best strategy and what is the best strategy for us to do long term so that there's less shifting every so often. And what we've determined, based on what we've heard from doctors and professionals, is that even without a second wave, if there is no second wave, then our gatherings will still be limited to a maximum of 50 to 100 people with physical distancing. And that will continue until there is a herd immunity, a vaccine, or some other widespread treatment. And that could take 1 to 2 years. That basically means that we would be limited to a maximum of 50 to 100 people in a single gathering, everybody being 6 feet apart from each other, for 1 to 2 years. And along with that, we know that this virus spreads through large gatherings, being physically close, and singing. All those things increase the risk of transmission. What that means is that makes church extremely difficult to do the way that we like to do it, the way that we did do it. It also means that kids ministry is almost near impossible. The amount of time and energy it would take to pull off these ministries in these forms is exhausting. The number of volunteers, the amount of extra volunteer time, the idea that we could gather but in very small numbers without being able to really participate the way that we want to or used to, and the constant confusion and apprehension of walking into a space and seeing somebody across the room that you want to talk to, but not seeing any possible way to get there because you would have to cross by somebody within 6 feet. It makes it all very weird and very confusing and very difficult. And it would be we are guessing that it will be an incredible amount of energy, an incredible amount of cost associated with cleaning and organizing different pieces. And so we've kind of looked at this and we've talked about it as a staff, and we've talked about it as ministry leaders, and we've talked about it as a board, and I've talked to other churches about this as well. And we have tried to come up with a strategy that we're ready to embrace until all restrictions are lifted. Now, if something changes and things go differently than what we've been told, or that we've been led to believe at this point, or that we're guessing at this point, then we will reevaluate and figure out what best course we should take. But based on the information that we have now and what they're saying about what it's going to look like for the next 1 to 2 years, we've had to kind of take a different strategy and take a different approach to this because Meeting outside just isn't feasible long term. Meeting in our cars isn't feasible long term. It just doesn't give us the same connection points. It doesn't give us the same content. It doesn't allow things to really happen the way long term that we really need them to happen. And so we've developed a strategy that where hopefully everything that we put in place is designed to be scalable with the restrictions and regulations put in place by the Nova Scotia government. That means that if restrictions loosen, then we can continue to use these same strategies just with more people. And if things get tighter, then we can still use the same content, the same strategy, just with fewer people. So what are we looking at doing? We are looking at doing mobile sites. Now, what a mobile site is basically what we've been doing already, putting the content online or on DVD and sending it to your house and encouraging you to engage with the content at your home, or better, as restrictions permit, you gather with other people. Now, we've already seen this happen in our homes, and we've already seen it happen with our bubble families. I hope that you have been meeting with your bubble family and doing church with them. But as things start to ease up and we're able to get together with more people, I encourage you to get together with 2 or 3 other families as restrictions permit, and that you would go through the content and you would watch AWC online and you would discuss the message. You would discuss the questions, that you would pray together, and that if kids are present, you would lead the kids through Connect Kids Online. And you would go through all of that together. And hopefully at some point we're actually able to invite others to our mobile sites as well. And invite people that aren't part of church or aren't part of AWC to join us in going through AWC Online and being part of our mobile sites and be able to share the gospel with them in that way. AWC Online is also hopefully starting in July. Will include our very own worship team and our messages. So it won't just be a YouTube playlist and then our message, but it would actually be our worship team doing the songs followed by our own message. And we're hoping to bring that to you in July. And we're hoping that you will start meeting as a mobile site really right away, but officially starting in July. And then in the fall, after we've experimented with a little bit and gone through it and worked out some of the kinks during the summer, we hope that you will actually register with us as an official mobile site, which will allow us to pump some special support content to you, which I'll go through in a minute. Now, the reason we're calling them mobile sites is because it goes wherever you go. It doesn't have to be your house. It doesn't have to be at the church building. It doesn't even have to be in Amherst. It can be wherever. You can go on vacation and you can take your mobile site with you. And ideally, you'll be able to meet with people there too and do church with them wherever you are. And so that's why we're calling them mobile sites. Now, about these special supports, when you register, now obviously you can continue to engage with AWC's content without registering, and you can continue doing things exactly as you have been. And new people can join us at any point, and that's wonderful, that's great. But we encourage you to consider this fall actually registering as a mobile site, because that allows us to pump more content, and not just more content, but more training and some useful stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to get to you unless you were in consistent contact with us. So we're hoping to get you some information cards and guides, an evangelism guide, to have a personal video call from one of the pastors at least once a month. So you would watch AWC online and then you'd have a video call from one of us, and we'd be able to chat a little bit and see how you guys are going, things are going, and what we can do and what we can change and when we can adapt. We'll be able to help you with faith at home leadership training, provide some site leader administrator training. That's kind of whoever's the coordinator of your mobile site. We're able to help them figure some things out and keep things organized. We're hoping to set up a designated Connect Kids leader rep so that at your site, if you've got kids, we'll have a rep set up, a Connect Kids leader that you can contact with questions or suggestions about the kids stuff and how to make that better, and they can help you figure out how to work with the kids. We want to develop and get to you some guest packets so that if you do invite somebody, or when you do invite somebody to your mobile site and they join you, you have some information or maybe a mug or something for them, and some just basic guides for how to operate the mobile operation packets, or the MOP, so that you can have real confidence and to know what you're supposed to be doing and what is most valuable, and how to get the most out of these mobile sites in the middle of a pandemic. And we're also hopefully open to other ideas and hoping to develop some other pieces with this to continue to get us growing and help us to really engage with the thought and the truth that we are the church, and the church isn't just a building, and that the church goes wherever we go, and we really are mobile sites. We're a mobile church. Now, as far as all of our other ministries that we've been invested in over the pandemic, or when we're mainly online, we've got some updates on those things as well. So with this new long-term strategy, what we're looking at doing, and we've started some of this already, but small groups will be online and on site. And so this fall, there'll be online signups for you to sign up for your group again or change groups. But we're really hoping that we're able to use the church and the sanctuary in particular for small groups to meet. A safe place that's not your home, because you may not want to bring everybody into your home or have that many people into your home, or you may not be allowed to have people into your home. And so if we can have 10 people meet together, even socially distanced, and meet in the building, and we've got a TV and a webcam and a microphone set up so that you can meet there at the church and also connect with people online. You can engage with your small group that way. Kids ministry is going to remain heavily online. It's going to focus on giving some better support and training to you as parents and leaders, and for mobile sites. And we're also not going to be doing our normal Connect Camp this year, just because of everything that's going on and the regulations that we're up against. And we're hoping to do a one-day, either off-site or online camp for kids. And Debbie and her team are constantly trying to figure out how to make these things better and how to invest in that. And they're going to just keep moving resources in your direction to help you with your kids. Teen ministry is again going to remain heavily online, but with teens there's a little bit more independence there, and so we may actually be able to use the space at the church for some smaller on-site activities. Outreach is going to be mainly focused on Amherst Live, which our season finale is going to be on Canada Day, and then we're going to relaunch with a new season this fall. And then we're also hoping to do Alpha, the Alpha course, on site this fall, and so that would be in the church building. Now, that is not primarily focused on believers. That is for believers to bring their unbelieving friends, the people outside the church, and bring them to this course to wrestle with the faith. And so we want to put that on, and we're hoping that we'll be able to actually do that on site. Community Care is also going to use the building heavily for things like Celebrate Recovery, which is going to launch this fall. On site, some grief and meal ministries, and especially meal ministry prep. And we're also hopefully going to relaunch some different ministries and get Stephen Ministry rolling even more than it currently is, and do some of those things on site in the building as we can use it as best we can. And then prayer. We've been doing this daily Facebook Live prayer for a few months now, and that's going to end on June 30th, because we're sunny, people are back to work, things are kind of moving in the normal direction a little bit more, and so we're going to put that on hold. And then this fall, in September, we're going to bring back our Thursday prayer. We've been doing Thursday prayer and fasting, but we're going to bring back Thursday Facebook Live prayer and special prayer and fasting, and relaunch it this fall, and hopefully even have the building open for people that want to pray there. So that's some updates on what we're looking at doing and what's going on, and what some things you can expect to be happening. So just to sum up, what we're going to end up using our building for during this time that we're, again, primarily online, is we guess and plan that only small gatherings with physical distancing will be permitted in the church. So we will be using the church for recording our worship team, recording of sermons and messages, recording of our kids ministry content, Celebrate Recovery, small groups, Alpha, some teen ministry, meal ministry, grief groups, Stephen ministry, and perhaps some small special events. We're open to the idea. We're going to be wrestling through what it looks like to have some small worship nights and different events, maybe some training nights and different things going on, where we can gather in small groups as the restrictions permit. But the regulations that are in place that we see long term really prohibit us from doing church as we normally would, especially since singing brings such a greater risk to the spread, and it would just transmit so quickly. If somebody walked into the church and had it would just transmit so quickly that even if it's permitted, it doesn't seem like something that we really feel comfortable doing and exposing our people to, especially knowing that so many of us and so many of the people that we're connected with and we take care of fall into those vulnerable categories, where if they're exposed to this virus, it could be very, very bad. So we're also looking for volunteers. Now, volunteers have normally been hands-on people doing frontline ministry, working with people, working with kids, working with teens, all these different things. And things are shifting a little bit here. We still need youth ministry leaders and support workers. We still need kids ministry leaders and support workers. We still need people that want to be Stephen ministers and work with meals ministry. But a big part of this involves getting computer stuff, sound stuff, video stuff, creative stuff, all behind the scenes. And so we need anybody that wants to be trained on that, anybody that gets an expertise on that and wants to be part of that and help us do the behind the scenes stuff. We really could use your help in this. And as things are opening up, it's allowing us to get more people involved in the process of this. It also is really big, really important that these mobile sites function with you as active leaders and volunteers. That this isn't just how do I consume church, but it is how do I do church in a way that is beneficial to me and beneficial to my family and beneficial to my friends and beneficial to the other families around, and how do I serve in my own personal mobile site? What can I do to make this experience better? What can I do to deepen my faith and to encourage others to grow deeper in their faith? What can I do to share my faith with my neighbors? And there's going to be lots of other volunteer things come up and ways that you can serve, but this puts a huge amount of the responsibility on each one of us in our own mobile sites to make sure that we are being the church and that we are spreading the love of Jesus to everyone around us. Now, that is my quick, and that may not have seemed quick, but that is my quick outline of what we're doing and why we're doing it. But please, if you have questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact me or any of the other staff. You can find us on Facebook, You can find us at www.amherstwesleyan.com. You can email us at amherstwc@eastlink.ca, or you could call me, Evan, at 902-397-1901. Get a hold of us. If you've got ideas, if you've got thoughts, if you've got comments, if you've got stuff that you want to bring up, you've got questions, you've got concerns, we want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. We're trying to create this strategy that is both healthy, helps you grow in your faith, continues to be responsible, but also that meets your needs and is actually works for you. And so if it's not working, or if there's some better way of doing it, we want to know about it. We need to know about it. And we want to make sure that we're doing this right. And if there's something that we're doing that has to be done, but you don't understand it, and you just want to talk through it a little bit, hey, give me a call. I am more than happy to talk through this and kind of dance around whatever it is that, not really dance around, but talk through whatever it is that you want to talk through and get this sorted out so that we move together as a church into this new situation that we are, and that we really do embrace that we are the church wherever we go, and that we are a mobile church, and that we can be mobile sites. All right. Well, thank you for listening and reading and following along with my presentation. I hope that answers some questions. I hope that leaves you with a little bit of sense of direction. I know it's disappointing that there's nothing in there that says we're going to be back real soon and we're going to be able to all get together. I know that's disappointing. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. I would really like to be able to just go back to the way things were, but that's not where we're at right now. And we've got to be smart. And it's not even just about what the rules say are allowed. It's about what is going to be the best course of action and the most responsible thing for us to do as a church. And so I think, and as we've worked through it, myself and our leaders and our staff and our board, this seems to be the direction that we need to go. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not open to changing things if there's a better way. And but this is what it seems to be where we're headed. And I know it's disappointing, but I think there's a lot of good here. I think there's a lot of really good, a lot of potential that we can really tap into. And so I hope that the Lord is able to open your heart to this and speak to you. And if He's saying, no, we're doing it wrong, you call me right away and we'll sort through that. Because if I'm doing something wrong, if we're doing something wrong, I want to know it and I want to get on the right track. But I hope that you're able to see the positive and you're able to see what God is able to do in this situation and with these new regulations that we've got coming. And I hope that you are able to engage with and find your place as a mobile church, as a mobile site, and that we're able to take the kingdom of God, not just to one place, one building, but throughout Amherst and throughout this world. All right. Now, again, if you got questions, let me know. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Hang in there. We'll get through this. Talk to you soon.